comes to the hack and slash genre of games, Bayonetta 3 probably has the most in-depth and technical combat system out of the three. With a wide variety of weapons and playstyles, it's easy to experiment and see just what kind of mayhem can be created. Having sunk well over 1,000 plus hours into the game, as well as making guides for each of the weapons, I can finally get to the main topic of discussion, the weapons tier list. This video will cover Bayonetta 3, as I plan to create guides for the weapons from the second and first games, along with their corresponding rankings. The tiers will go as follows. Bottom tier. The weapons in this tier are notoriously bad, lacking the necessary DPS, speed, and combos to do anything remotely good on their own. Low tier. The weapons in this tier are a step up from bottom tier, but lack certain skills to effectively fight enemies on higher difficulties. Mid tier. The weapons in this tier are fairly average, having better abilities than low tier, but still lacking in some ways. High tier. The weapons in this tier are very balanced, with only one setback keeping them from going any higher. Top tier. Every weapon in this tier can easily adapt to any situation in the game while still having great consistency. Top 3. This is a personal tier of mine of what I think are weapons that, when mastered, can trivialize the game's difficulty due to just how powerful they are. The main rule of this tier list is that I will be ranking weapons based on their true strength. Things like Bracelet of Time, Infernal Commander, and Rageful Thing will not be accounted for. I will make an exception for Witch Time, Umbra Climax, and Demon Slave, as these are the main mechanics for each of their games and how the combat is centered around. Subscribe if you enjoy, and let's get started. I think I can say with full confidence that the handguns from Bayonetta 3 are the worst weapon in the game and the series as a whole. The reasons being that, unlike in Bayonetta 1 and 2 where purchasing a technique in the shop applies that move to every weapon you own and will obtain later, Bayonetta 3 has a skill tree system. You now have to buy every technique for every weapon individually. Since the handguns don't have a skill tree, nor a Demon Masquerade form, which is responsible for 90% of the finishing combo moves for the weapons, they feel incomplete. Demon Masquerade is also responsible for all your fast movement options. This, in turn, makes the handguns not have high damaging moves or fast movement. The only way to get any real damage is to have your demons do most of the fighting, which takes away the point of using the weapon in the first place. Going from the worst weapon to the best weapon, Color My World is easily a top tier. Insane combo potential? Check. High damage combo finishers? Check. Various multi-hit moves? Check. Adaptability between close and long-range combat? Check. This weapon does it all. Due to its simple playstyle and being the first weapon you unlock, it's easy to use and master. Madama Butterfly is a very solid demon, having attacks that are easy to understand and straightforward, including their special, which can stun enemies. This is exactly why you see this weapon and demon often in combo videos. Being the first of the three heavy weapons in Bayonetta 3, G-Pillar is not exactly the best. Despite having attacks that deal significant damage, its main flaws are obvious, and what keeps the weapon in low mid-tier. Those being, having very slow combos, moves with slow startup, and very limited range. Its gun move does make up for its lack of range, but the charge shot leaves you immobile. Gomorrah is not much of an improvement either, and has only a few solid moves worth using, with the rest being too slow for the pace of the game. Having one of the coolest weapon designs, the Ignis Araneae Yo-Yo has the potential to be an excellent weapon, but was handled poorly. Its moves can all be multi-hits and can deal with both close and long-range fighting, Punches are great for long range, and kicks are good for close range, but they can't handle both at the same time. This weapon also struggles with verticality, with only a few moves that can hit foes directly above you. Thankfully, Phantasm Araneae has great utility, mostly due to its spiderweb move, which can slow down enemies, making it easier to hit the long wind-up attacks. Considering everything, this weapon goes into low-high tier. As the second of the heavy weapons, Dead End Express has a very solid kit. Its most prominent feature, being the unique action, allows the weapon to combo much more freely with only a few inputs. It excels at chip damage, and if played correctly, can melt enemy health bars with ease. However, just like with G-Pillar, Dead End Express' main setback is its range, having to rely on its projectile to hit distant targets. Additionally, the unique action, while powerful, can cause attacks to take longer to execute, and struggles against mid-range enemies. War Train Gawan also happens to be one of the most technical demons in the game, making you think ahead rather than just pressing buttons and getting immediate results. With all this said, the best placement for the weapon, in my opinion, is at the top of mid-tier. Due to a rocky start and entirely new mechanics to master, it's easy to see why Viola is not exactly a good secondary character. A patch had to be released so that her witch time would be more consistent. However, if you invest time in her, she can become quite the skilled fighter. Viola struggles against giant enemies like Cumulonimbus and Nimbostratus due to her only having one weapon, projectile, and demon. Her fairy form does give her access to one of the best ranged attacks in the game. There are many things I could discuss about Viola, but that would make this video way too long, so I will stop here and categorize her as a low-high tier character. When it comes to incredible support, Ribbit Libido BZ-55 does not get enough credit. Having good moves for 1v1s with its spear thrusts, and good moves for crowd control with its staff twirls, this weapon is incredibly underrated. The main reason it has such good support is that its unique action allows you to increase your offense and defense depending on which button you press. Being a light weapon, Ribbit Libido BZ-55 can very easily perform intricate combos and is quite fast with its attacks. The only downside is that it has a very bad projectile that is way too slow to be relevant. Bal is a very solid demon with decent attacks and has the most powerful special in the game, which, while it takes a bit to perform, has a DPS payout that is worth the risk. With all this said, Ribbit Libido BZ-55 goes into high tier. As the reincarnation of the Rakshasa weapon from Bayonetta 2, Simoon fits the role of the close-range sword weapon perfectly. Its attacks and abilities can be on par with Color My World, including its unique action, which can pile on even more chip damage. The only downside to this weapon is that the charged kicks take slightly longer to come out than the charged punches, but that's the only flaw with Simoon. Everything else about this weapon is near perfection. Mouthfist also has decent utility, having two of the best projectiles being their Feather Missile and Tornado, which can be powered up with other demons like Gomorrah and Phantasm Araneae. With all this said, Simoon goes into top tier. Having a moveset that is between light and heavy, Tartarus has difficulty finding a proper spot on the tier list. It does have the ability to combo decently and has powerful finishers, however, some combo finishers have a slow wind-up. Its unique action that allows you to block enemy attacks does not fit the pace of Bayonetta's combat, as unlike Viola, who gets value out of blocking attacks with Witch Time, Tartarus can block attacks, and that's it. On the bright side, the weapon has an excellent projectile, and its demon, Umbra Clock Tower, is the most broken in-game, since it has the Bracelet of Time built into it. Umbran armor has also changed, as taking damage while it's active reduces your magic instead of your health like in the second game. Despite everything said, Tartarus still has a lot of potential, and the safest spot I can think of for it is middle high tier. With its incredible range and near consistent chip damage, Abracadabra sits comfortably in top tier. This weapon is a popular pick in the player base, as you can attack from virtually anywhere on the field and still hit enemies with ease. The unique action gets more benefits from kicks than punches, as charged kicks will increase damage while charged punches make the attack last longer. Abracadabra would be a perfect weapon if it weren't for its projectile, which is random due to the weapon resembling a magician's hat and cane. Micantacutli has solid attacks and great movement speed, and is the only demon in the game that can counter Nimbus Stratus invisibility waves. All in all, a great weapon and demon that is worth using often. As the representative of the third ice elemental weapon for the Bayonetta games, Cruel Altea is the best version it has ever been. The weapon has abilities and combos comparable to Color My World, especially the unique action, which doubles as a projectile for long-range fighting. The main star of the show is the projectile, which has both short and long-range capabilities that can freeze nearly every enemy in the game. Labilis is an excellent demon, having the ability to turn into 5 smaller clones of itself to increase hit count, and a powerful ice breath attack that can freeze enemies Cruel Altea can't. All of this easily puts the weapon in top tier. As the third and final heavy weapon, Cassiopeia is not bad, just misunderstood. On the surface, the weapon is sluggish due to the nature of its punches and has a difficult time hitting enemies. However, once you realize the weapon base also has a hitbox and focus your attention on close-range fighting, that's where this weapon truly shines. Punches become 2 active hitboxes for close and long-range attacks, and kicks are especially good against 1v1s. Kraken also happens to be super underrated, as unlike other demons with definitive punches and kicks, Kraken can do all those attacks all at once thanks to its many tentacles. The only flaw with Cassiopeia is that it's still a heavy weapon with very slow attacks, so the best placement is middle high tier. The first of the 2 returning weapons from Bayonetta 2, Alraune has had some changes to it, so it is still a powerful weapon without overshadowing the others. What made the weapon so powerful in the second game was Umbran Climax, which allowed you to lasso and throw up to 2 giant enemies around. In Bayonetta 3, we now have Demon Slave. This means you can still whip enemies around, just only the smaller ones. Alraune has decent utility as the vines and flowers you place down act as hitbox extensions. Because of this, the best spot to represent the 2 versions of Alraune would be just outside of top 3. The second of the 2 returning weapons from Bayonetta 2, the Rodin has been improved to become even more powerful and versatile than its second game counterpart. Who would have thought that a weapon that is all the angelic and infernal enemy weapons put together into a moveset would be kinda overpowered? Essentially, there is a move for every possible situation, with it being the only other weapon in the game that can freeze enemies besides Cruel Altea. Not as effectively, but still. Rodin himself is probably the most overpowered demon in the game strength-wise, including his grab move that can one-shot enemies at the cost of needing to recharge himself fully. This is the first weapon that I can confidently say goes into my top 3 tier. This concludes my Bayonetta 3 portion of this series. After this video is uploaded, I will make weapon guides for Bayonetta 2 and tier them, repeating the process for Bayonetta 1 after that. Thank you all so much for watching this project come to life, and I will see you all later.